So Petra, your writing style is actually very unique. I found it, it sounds kind of funny, but I found it to be like sassy inflammatory.
Sassy inflammatory? What's
Yes.
sassy inflammatory?
Because it makes these really adamant statements about what you assume the reader is responding. And sometimes you say the reader is, don't laugh, because, and you're making these corrections as to the person's response.
Well, I think actually when you take my books, Power or Heart is saying that. Don't laugh, because they know normally that the reader would respond like that, right?
And that's one thing that I really love about your book, The Heart, is so much of it is expressed as though it's your heart talking to you. Was that the goal that you wanted to express?
Yeah, in all my books, in all 8 of the books, the topics or the entities is talking to the reader. So I mean, power is this lion in you. It's this tiger who talks with you and takes you on a trip into the world of your emotions. And heart is like an apartment house and says, hey, listen, I'm the apartment house. I have too many renters in my apartments. So it was my attention to really, really give people the feeling that all these emotions are living within us, and that we can talk to them, we can communicate with them, even when you don't think you can talk with them, but we can communicate with them. And they are all important in us. But I think even the little tiny thing that you can communicate with your what is the word?
Communicate.
Thank you very much. Communicate with your emotions is sometimes forgotten.
And so the fun thing about it is that the effect it had on me is that the inflammatory or sassy sort of way it comes across, it's really fun to be challenged in such a way where the direct statements are so direct that, when you say you and you're directing this information, to the reader, I almost start laughing, because if I take it personally, then it even actually shows me that I might have some issues and that I probably should read this, or it's this author has some real issues with herself. Right? And I'm trying to go, okay, well, if it's just her issues, I guess I can continue reading this.
Oh, you can continue reading, yeah.
But it has this effect of demanding, a response, and actually very pinpoint accurately, bringing out those truth point issues that people experience when they're trying to get in touch with their heart. What are the reasons for those different topics that you chose?
Well, actually, the different topics come from a system. They are supposed to be 8 different major energy fields in our bodies. And one is close to the heart and is green, and the other one is yellow and is power, and there is fear, and the major issues is what the topics is for my books. Yeah, this is why they have this different coloring. And I wanted to create something what is light enough for a reader to smile, or even get sometimes, oh, what does she mean? Pinpointing out something. But it should be light enough to read in a couple of hours, and don't go through big volumes and say, oh my God, this is so big. How do I ever go through with that? How do I ever have the time to learn this? And I think in our time, especially in our fast times at the moment, it is very important that we kind of have little bits and pieces. They have to be deep enough to be that you get something out of it. So it cannot be only blah blah and all good things, but it has to be deep enough that you can learn something or experience something, but it has to be light enough that you also get a little entertainment fact, like a vision. Vision is this genie in your body. It's like, hey, I can take you places. I really can take you places. Just trust me if you trust your vision. So this is why I split them up in 8. And we created this little library here with 8 little books, because it is very interesting. People take them out, and we have this like a little bookcase, and you can hang them on the wall, and people have them in various rooms, and people grab it and read a little bit and put it back, because these books are no books what you only read for one time.
Medical graphs, they have ways of taking photographs of brain waves, and they've actually determined, some of these physicians, they've determined that certain pharmaceuticals can actually cause certain kinds of thoughts. It's really fascinating. They've actually shown that some of these kinds of pharmaceuticals can actually determine what kind of thoughts a person would have. So with the advancement of technology, it would be nice if we could just actually record what the conversation that the mind is bringing into our lives all the time. And then maybe as technology advances, we could actually just record the heart's answer to all those conversations going on in the mind. Have you gotten to a point where you feel like the heart is always speaking something and always has an answer for everything?
Well, the heart has all answers, I think. The mind is if you personalize it, the mind is the guy or the girl who kind of likes to trick you into certain things. But the heart has the true core. The heart is where your feeling is, where you really, really go into, and the truth is sitting there. It's the knowledge, the old knowledge, the new knowledge. It's everything. It's just the truth. It's as simple as that. In the heart is the truth. But the mind kind of distracts us, and we have the society problems and the society structures, And this is also why it's sometimes not necessarily all the time easy to get to this heart point, to this core of the heart, or beyond this even, and say, hey, this is the sanctuary of all times for me.
Well, now, from what I understand, the celebration of Valentine's Day was actually based on your book.
That would be nice, yes. No, I think it was the other way around. No, but I didn't write it for Valentine's Day. These are books who are gifts, great gifts for everybody in every situation. I mean, I have people who really buy it for teenagers or for young adults. I have people who love it for people who have certain issues. They only buy one book, and it's fine. Some people told me what was really, really a big compliment for me, and this was already worth writing them, is that people said when they went through sicknesses and stuff, they had a really, really tough time, and they couldn't read big volumes, and that my books helped them very much. And I think this is already something that is very, very beautiful.
That's really sweet. I feel so much of our society, just even in the course of life, even so much as logging on to check your email, or you get a cursory view of some of the headlines, or you flip on the TV and all of a sudden you're just assaulted with all this negative kind of things that they consider to be news and so forth. And it's so refreshing and it's so inspiring to me that someone has taken the time to write a book about the heart. I mean, it kind of makes you laugh. There's probably a lot of books about the heart.
There's a lot of books about the heart, yeah. I'm pretty sure it would be a good search. You are good in searching those things. It must be a great search to see how many heart books are out there. But the question is, how many heart books are out there who gives you on one point the lightness and on one point the profoundness to really see what is going on in your heart.
So Petra, my experience is that the more you focus on the heart, the more the heart focuses on you.
Yes, you could say that, something like that. The heart is really the best entertainment center of all times.
And find out how much heart there really is.
How much heart is in Malibu.
Right. So you see, and it's always the mind that comes along and tries to tell us that something else besides the heart even exists.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But this is something our society made up, right? Normally, I mean, when you are a child, you don't care what's around you.
Yes,
Right?
that's pretty much true, because when you're a child, you are your heart.
Yeah, you just live. You don't have feelings that, oh my, I'm not good enough. But on the other hand, when you see these children, sometimes it is really amazing how much pleasure they just draw from simple things.
Yes, and I've come to realize that too. That's why I never left my childhood, and I just pretty much stayed the heart. That's why I'm Mr. Malibu.
This is why you Mr. Malibu.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and I'm done putting it.
So Petra, what is it that you would like your readers to walk away with after they read your books?
I would like them to have a little bit more happiness. I would like them to have a little bit more balance in their lives. That would be the greatest for me to achieve that. Well, that they help them to get a step further, that they help them to be a little bit more happier. And for me, the biggest thing for me would be when they open their heart and let a little bit more understanding for themselves and for other people in their lives.